Everybody to Be Sew-In's new at 2 for this week. We're so excited to have you join us. I got the great idea to show you something that it's pretty basic, but sometimes I think it just bears repeating. Some simple things to help make your life easier when you're sewing.
Okay.
One of those things is having the proper cutting tools.
Okay.
So what I want to show you here is Quilters Select. So as you see here, we have a mat, a ruler, and a rotary cutter.
Okay.
If you look behind me here,
Yeah,
you can
goodness,
see we've got
lots
all
of
this lovely
rulers.
quilters, like the different, we have the cutters, the blades, the scissors, the free views, some tools, lots of ruler choices,
yeah.
and lots of mat choices.
Okay, yeah, look
Okay,
at those.
so when you look at these mats, can you come over here a little bit closer? We have mats ranging anywhere from this 9 by 12 size, a 12 by 18, an 18 by 24, the 24 by 36, and then we do have a specialty mat here, which is the 14 by 14 Susan Love Foundation mat. But something that's been missing from the line for a while was this really big mat, and it's the one that you see underneath here that's taking up this entire surface area.
Look at
This
that.
one is,
I think it's 36 by 60.
I think you're right, yes it is, it's 36 by 60. They had one this size for a while, and then it went out of production because they weren't satisfied with the quality control issues in it.
Okay.
So they reworked something. I don't know exactly what the details are on it, but it's back.
Hey,
and that's
very
really great because
good.
having a giant mat so that covers up your entire surface area is wonderful. Now I didn't pull one out of the bag. I do have my 24 by 36, as you can see, sitting on top of here.
Okay, yeah, very good.
But I want to show you something else that's great about these mats.
Okay.
Well, there's a lot of things that are great about it. One of them, though, is it's double-sided.
Okay.
Now, obviously, every mat has a front and a back.
Right.
But not every mat has a front and a back that has markings on it.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes you'll see some of the other branded mats, like a green mat, that it's printed on one side, but the back's just plain.
Okay.
And so you can't really use it to measure anything.
Right.
But this one has a light side and a dark,
Dark
side.
side, okay.
So sometimes it's easier to see different fabrics on different shades, but you'll also notice, can you get in close enough here to see this? Where you see that there are all of
Down
the
to
different
an
markings.
1/8 of an inch.
And then not only do they have all of those markings, but on the ruler has the same markings, so that whenever you're doing it, it all lines up, because sometimes you'll have
Beautiful.
a ruler that doesn't have the same markings as the mat or vice versa, and
Right.
it can be difficult when you're looking at it. Another thing that's really nifty about it, and this is true on the rulers and the mats, the numbers go both directions. We have 1 to 23 and 1 to 23. I can't tell you how many times on a mat I've been there and I've had to go, okay, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, and count backwards one way or the other.
Right.
Because the numbers weren't both directions.
Right.
It's the same on the
rulers.
rulers.
Very nice.
So I love that they thought through that, where it's like, what are the foibles of when you're cutting things? And
Right.
sometimes because you laid it down and you have to go the opposite direction and you don't want to have to start over, but it'd be nice if there was something there to help you count backwards. So that's a really good thing too. The other thing is, because they're that slightly yellow color, that's a coating that's on this side.
Okay.
And it's not sticky, but it
It's
just
a
has,
non-slip.
it's a non-slip coating. So whenever you have it on here, and here's a good example. And this is the slick side. I have it wrong side up at the moment.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you, when you're on fabric, when you have the slick side, it just slides all over the place. Most brands of rulers don't have a coating on them.
Okay.
So they slip and slide everywhere. But when you have the Quilters Select one and you have the coating on the fabric, now when I push it, I mean, even one finger
Oh
pushing
yeah,
it,
sticks to the
it
fabric.
sticks to the fabric.
That is great.
That is great. So, we've got great mats, we've got great rulers in a wild amount of sizes.
Yeah.
And then there's also this wonderful tool, which is the Rotary Cutter. The Rotary Cutter is my all-time favorite. Of all the years of cutting, I've finally found the perfect rotary cutter.
Okay.
This is the 45 millimeter one. Quilters Select also makes one in a 60 millimeter, and it's a weighted handle. And a lot of brands, it's just a lightweight plastic, and you end up having to put a lot of your
Slips
pressure
easy.
into it, and it will slip easy. The other thing that's really fun about this one is when you need to change the blade on it, you're not risking your life. So if I just hold on to this little knob right here, and I pull this part down, it's magnetized to it.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not
nice.
going to hurt myself on it.
Yeah.
And then I can lift it
That's
off and
important.
put my new blade on. And then when I put it back in here, I just pop that back on there.
Okay, very good.
And it stays put. It's also ambidextrous.
Okay, show me how.
So I'm right-handed
Okay,
and my mom is left-handed.
sure.
And so on other brands of rotary cutters, if she has it set up where she can cut, it ends up being on the back side of the tool, and I can't cut with it
Right.
without having to take it apart and flip it
it all
over.
around, yeah.
And so it never worked out so well. But on this one, it's ambidextrous. So if I'm right-handed, I hold the button in and I'm tapping it to reveal the blade so I can cut. And then when I'm done cutting, I just tap it closed. But if I was left-handed, I just hold the button and tap it this way so I can cut left-handed and then tap it closed. I don't have to take the blade and flip sides
Okay.
because it will open either direction.
Very clever.
Isn't that clever?
Yeah, I love that.
Yep, my favorite. My favorite. So, moving on. We're going to talk about whenever you're wanting to make binding.
Okay.
And there are different looks you can get with binding if you're using a striped fabric. It's really easy to explain this on a striped fabric. I mean, the theory is the same if it's a print or a solid, but on
Sure.
a stripe, it's easy to see that.
Okay.
As you know, like I have this folded twice here. This is my selvage,
Okay.
and this is my fold, and then I've just folded it again.
Okay.
So this is the width of the fabric going this way,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And then this is the length of my fabric.
Right.
So if I'm going to cut it where I would have, and I'm going to flip this over this direction. If I'm going to cut this and say I want to cut a 2.5 inch strip, I could line it up on the mat, but I can also just use my ruler as my guide. Because if I hold this even with the edge of my fabric so that this is straight and it's straight on this fold right here, I know it's square.
Okay.
But you see how the lines are short? This is the cross grain
Right.
of the fabric.
Right.
Right? So I'm going to cut this one. I'm just going to hold on to this. I don't have to push very hard because it's that great weighted blade. Oh, I didn't quite get it. That was me, bad. There's cross grain, okay? So if I have a piece of batting, let me lock that back. I mean, not batting, binding. I know what I'm talking about. If I had a piece of binding that was going around a quilt,
You're gonna get that kind of.
you're going to get the stripy look, okay?
Yeah, very cool.
So that's cross grain.
Okay.
And then we have bias cut.
Okay.
So whenever you want to cut something bias, now I am going to hold this where it is
Lined up on your ruler.
lined up on my mat.
Okay. Oh, that's what I meant.
And
your
I
mat.
do have some angles here. Do you see my angles? I happen to
Yeah,
know the
coming
one in
out
the
from that
middle is a
corner.
45-degree angle,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
You're with me there?
I'm with you.
Okay. So I'm going to hold my ruler
Against that line.
like so. Yes, I just tap. And I'm going to cut that one.
Okay.
I'm going to move that out of my way.
Okay.
I'm going to come back here and then I'm going to use my 2.5 inches, right?
Okay. Yep.
Because that's what I like to do. Now I realize I didn't do this right with it folded up because I'm going to end up with a V shape. You're going to forgive me just a little bit here. Now when I fold it up,
You're gonna.
I'm
get
going to
that
get that,
full angled line.
right, and it, to me, I always think that looks like a peppermint stick.
Oh, it
Okay,
does.
so this is
Bias.
bias cut. But let's say you want to do something and you need it to be a straight of grain,
Okay.
okay? This one's a little long, so I'm going to cheat and I'm going to use this short piece here.
Okay.
Straight of grain is going with my stripe,
Yeah.
right? So if I want to do it this way, and I need a 2.5 inch cut. So I've got my 2.5 inches. Now when I have this stripe wrapped around my quilt, it's
You're
going
just
to
gonna
do
kind
like
of see
that.
like one color, maybe two colors.
So the thing is, it doesn't matter what your pattern, your fabric is, because this is always going to be cross grain, bias,
And
and
straight of
straight of
grain.
grain. But I think a stripe makes it easy for you to understand that. And
Absolutely.
the different look you're gonna get as you do your binding around
Yeah,
a quilt.
completely different with the same exact
Completely
fabric.
different look,
Yeah.
completely different look.
Very cool. And the rulers make it super easy to do that.
They do. And this one is probably my all-time favorite ruler, the 6x24. I use it for darn near everything.
Yeah.
But we have so many different squares.
Absolutely.
From the 18x18 all the way down to
I think it's a 2.5 inch
it's a 2.5
square.
inch square and everything in between. And then you've got the variety of different ones. Some people want to have the one that has that extra half inch that's added into it.
Yeah.
Some people don't like to have the extra half inch added
So we
in.
got both versions.
You have the long ones, you have the short ones, and then we also have some of the new ones here that are some of the different
Here, I'll come
angled
closer.
ones.
Yeah.
Which this one is our half square combo ruler. This one is the 60-degree triangle ruler. And we also have a special edition one that is, again, with that Susan Love Foundation. It's the pink one.
Very nice.
Quilters Select absolutely gets it when it comes to tools for quilting.
Yeah, they really do.
So if you have a variety of mats, or maybe your mat's worn out, or you have rulers where the numbers are rubbing off, or you've just decided it's time to add to your collection or replace something in your collection, I encourage you to truly consider looking into Quilters Select. I have not been disappointed at all with any of these.
I've completely switched over.
I am switched over to this. I wouldn't use a different kind. I've been thrilled with them. As a matter of fact, I think we haven't done a giveaway in a while.
It has been a
Kaylin.
few weeks.
It has been a few weeks. So, I think we should give away something fun.
Okay.
All right?
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking, why don't we give away a special edition mat
Oh.
and ruler?
Okay.
Okay, I know, I always wonder, is Mary gonna shoot me, but I think she's gonna be okay with me. So here we have, and I know we're doing this before we're at the end of our conversation today, but let's just throw this right here in the middle.
Okay.
If you will do us a favor and you will like, share, and comment on our Facebook Knew It Too, get the word out that we are talking about all sorts of wonderful things, whether it be quilting, embroidery, sewing, serging, cabinets, machines, whatever it is. We have great information out there, and we want to pick one lucky winner from any one of our locations that will do what? Like, share, and comment. And this Thursday, we are going to have one lucky winner. We'll let you know who the winner is, and you're going to get to have a wonderful pink ruler and mat.
Very nice.
Okay, we have a few other things we want to talk to you about, so join me right over there at that machine.
Okay.
All right. So Kaylin, I think we should start something new.
Okay. What are you thinking?
I think that Knew It Too should have a new segment in it.
Okay. Called what?
Oh gosh, maybe you all can help us come up with a name for it.
Okay.
But I think we should talk about all the different presser feet that come with the machine.
Oh, okay. Like what? Like 1 foot a week?
I think that sounds fabulous.
Okay.
Because there's so many different feet that come with it, and I know we've shown some of the ones in the past that don't come with it, just to kind of entice you into being interested in them.
Right.
And we can certainly revisit those, but I think sometimes it's important to know what all the different feet are that come with a machine.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I like to point out to people whenever they are using their machine that there's a reason all those different feet come with your machine.
Sure.
Because different stitches require different feet. And if you're simply trying to use the 1 foot for every stitch in there, then you're just making it harder for yourself because it's designed to work with a certain foot. As a matter of fact,
Okay.
can you come around over to this side?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Here I come.
So we're on the chorus today.
Okay.
And we just turned it on, and it of course defaults to stitch number 3, but you'll see here it tells us that we're supposed to be using the J foot. Right?
Yep.
Okay, but if, go ahead and stay nearby.
Oh, here I come.
So if we were to go through all these different stitches, do you see how it's J, 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 all these straight stitches?
Still the J foot. Oh,
Oh,
there, now it's
that one's an end foot, which is the
Okay.
open toe foot. We went back to J, 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 J,
lots of J feet.
And then we're at a G
then another
foot.
casting. Sure.
and then as you go into the next pages, J, it starts jumping around. But J is used for a lot of things. Like there's the S foot, and you see but
J foot.
back to J foot, and we'll keep going on and on. But let's go back to the beginning here and be where we were
Okay.
with the J foot.
Yeah.
And we're going to touch on all these feet because, as you know, there's the J, the I, the M, N,
Lots of letters.
R, G. I don't even remember all the different letters.
W.
A W foot, there's Q foot, a C foot, an O foot. I don't know how they came up with the names because
don't know either.
in my world it would have probably, the letter would have matched something that made sense, but I didn't get to name it.
That's fair.
But we're going to talk about the J foot today.
Okay.
All right. So do you want to come back over on the other side of
Okay,
me? I
here
think
I
it might be easier.
Yep.
All right. So the J foot is what is on the machine whenever you get it. And this is pretty much every baby lock machine that's out there. Now, some of the genuine collection machines, they may look a slightly different than this particular J foot. Like the Zest doesn't look quite like that.
Okay.
But for the majority of our machines, this is the foot that comes with it.
Okay.
Of course, this is a snap-on foot, and you push the button and it drops right off.
Okay, let me zoom in on it here.
And if you look right inside there, can you see the letter
Hold on,
J?
It's getting clear. Sorta. It's hard on the camera, but the J is right there
Right there.
behind. Yeah, there it is.
Right. And it's clear right here, and it does have the little spring and the little button right here, and we're going to
Yeah.
show you how all that works.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Alrighty, so let's put this on here. Got that snapped on. There is a little groove here to be able to put your thread on the inside of it.
Okay.
And we're going to stitch this down. You ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, so J foot away, and we're on slow. Let's go faster.
Woo!
Beautiful stitching on there. Oops, I meant to cut it first. So we have beautiful stitching with our J foot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm just going to make this a little bit thicker, okay? So
Okay.
I've just rolled that over. How many layers is that? 1, 2, about 4 layers?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to show you something here in just a second. Lower my presser foot. Now, if I wanted to move the needle over, I can, because it certainly has that nice wide opening in there, so I can make a decision on where I want my needle position. It also has little marks on the inside here.
Okay.
So
So
if
if you kind of follow your
Right, so if I
guidelines.
wanted it to be over this way, or if I wanted it to be over that way, or if I want it to be back in the center, I can make all those decisions. And as I change my width, that needle's going to move.
You got the full width opening
Right,
for the J
which
foot.
is 7 millimeters wide in there.
Okay. Okay.
Now this machine can stitch wider than that because it can track the fabric, but the opening is always going to be just the 7
Right,
millimeters.
right. Okay.
Okay, so we've got that. And now I've got all these layers. So now I'm going to like bunch this up because sometimes I'm trying to mimic like on a
Like
pair of
jeans,
jeans when you're
yeah.
going over that big chunky thing. So we're going to just stitch right down the middle of this again because I want to show you something here right when I get up close to it. Because sometimes when you're trying to go up and over something, it doesn't like to go over that.
Okay.
So if I push down on the front of this foot to make it parallel to the bed of the machine, and then I'm going to push that button in right there, and
Okay.
it locked it in place.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's, instead of that foot trying to ride up,
Yeah. now
it's
gonna be
level,
able to-
and so now it's not going to force those stitches to be weird. And you'll watch that button over there, and once it gets
Oh,
over the
and then it
hump,
pops
it
back
pops
out.
back out. But it keeps your foot level instead of
Yeah.
riding up or going
So
down.
that it can easily handle those bumps.
Right, and then you don't end up with that weird long stitch
Okay.
as it's trying to go over that
Yeah, just
area
a great
because it
little-
rode up and over it. And look
That's
how perfect
great.
that
Yeah.
looks. So
Very cool.
that's the beauty of the button on the J foot. But you
Okay.
do have to tilt it to get it in position when it's trying to
Lock it
ride
into
up on
place.
something.
Yeah.
Okay? So we'll talk about another foot next week.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I hope you enjoyed learning about Quilters Select and the different ways to cut your fabric, and learning about the first foot of the week, which if you have an idea on what to name that, please pop that into your comments.
All
We'll see
right.
if we can come up with a fun name to add to our New It too.
Definitely.
But I want to bring this up. There's just a few seats left in the Missy Billingsley event. Magic Moments with Missy. She is so bubbly and fun. You've just got to sign up for that. If you have been thinking about a serger, or if you have a serger and you're not sure exactly how to use it, then this is the event for you. It is in Tulsa, April 12th and 13th. It's a 2-day event. We provide the machines, the materials, the fun, the food. We
right.
want you to join us for that. So please go to our website and sign up, or call any one of our local locations. We have a store in Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Muskogee, Fayetteville, Springfield, and Humble. And we want anybody to come from anywhere and join us at the Magic Moments with Missy Billingsley. So thank you for joining us at New It 2 this week. As always, we love to hear from you at Be So In. Give us a call, stop on by the store, and we look forward to seeing you. We'll see you again next week.